I know. We can't find some new way to convince everyone Mr. Gilda's innocence. The judge will rule and will have lost. I very much wanted to believe that the words of one of Len's most respected gentlemen. But those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Yes, the witness's last statement seemed to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying? Counsel! I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean? Counsel, I will not tolerate your attempting to prolong my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on that night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. There's another entrance. If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other has only windows. Fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. Alright, counsel. The defense will identify a location for the court. Here's the omnibus in which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim enter the cabin? Skylight, right?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It can have only been the skylight. I say, the skylight.
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However,
Objection!
the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory? Both Mr. McGillet and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as a noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat, having been assaulted with a dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise that the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Mr. Stray to let out an involuntary cry, in fact? Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin. That's simply impossible! How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but... What do you have to say for yourself now? Might the humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGilded? To be sure now, the two fellas who were sat on the roof that testified afore said not to the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but 'tis a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would yous not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Humph. Oh my goodness, surely not. Those two chaps on the roof? You mean the ones who stuck the knife in the man were... Ah! Whoa. Whoa. Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer? You rudder, he said. You rudder. What do you insinuate? What the are you doing? This is a flaming outrage. I have a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute. He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I. Mr. Fairplay. You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker. And me, a very angry hatter. I love this guy so much. This went from 0 to 100 real fast, and I love it. Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's... I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right. I protest too about you rotten scoundrel. Man, we got a full house here. Order, order, order! That is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion to stand. Return to the after room at once, or anteroom. But this is beyond reason, Lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accuse? I never intended to... It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. Shut up! English is very hard. You proposed to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. The hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimidated their criminal guilt. Or intimated. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know I was rushed to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify. I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. There's filth and rubbish in our midst. We must dispose of it at once. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. What's happening, Mr. Nanahodo? The spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord? You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony. In reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. What the hell did you come here for? Did you just... What were you expecting? There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Refuting the accusation. We were the only two people up on that roof deck. Dead or alive, I swear to that. If anything had happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it's somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed a malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith. That's right! You see? We're innocent, I tell you! Although logically, of course, the argument falls down to if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? Eh? According to investigation by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Ha! Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Okay, there's actually one specific testimony that I wanted to check on. I think it's the third one. Hold on. Yeah, let's just check this one.
Hold it!
So, you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before? Oh, Loom, no! Not once! Never! He never met the man before, he said? Never! And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection to the gentleman who is inside the cabin. Haha.
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel? What can I be doing you for? Did the witness' last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection. Is that right now, I wonder? What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay, 'has been too long, so it has. Eh? If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date? I beg your pardon? You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. An unconsiderable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another? Arrgh! And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding above your head? Is that one of your own creations, is it? I'm just still an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so it has. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like the distinctive touch. Customers such as Thrice Fire and Mason? There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence before, my lord. This you mean? I can't help thinking that the poor fellow's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? That's one of my hats. Hehe, aye, that it is. So it seemed the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer, I'd wager, you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir, absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel! Ugh! He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGill has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please, don't let me, little interruption, hold up the proceedings. Skylet, shut the entire time. Shut this one? Are you quite certain about that? That Skylet was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his route with you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see? It's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break right through it, still and all. What? Just look at the size of the thing. You understand. Ugh! Now you hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? Yeah, dude, it's not a ring pop. Calm down. I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shot myself with it as it happens. That's the second time they've made a fart joke in the last hour, and I do not appreciate it. This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But, just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. With as red as rouge I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, skylight can't be opened. I tried and tried when I was inside the cabin of shame. What do you have to add to this? Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade! It opens. The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? Stop, please. All of them skylights open. Dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon? That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, You can't do it from inside, you mug. Oh! Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great haul. I mean, I had purses coming out of me ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the form to be, you lot. I'm sorry, I really hate Old English. It's so hard. This is why I teach Spanish for a living, because English is so stupid. What does that word even mean? Editor Griffin, put the definition on screen. Thank you. Eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did was, I used a skylight, opened the catch, and jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch from the skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck? Bailiff! Climb onto the roof omnibus at once and verify the witness's claims. Ah! Oh, my hat! See? Order, order, order! So, it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens from the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo! This could be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. I should investigate for myself. Sure, let's go ahead and do that before we do anything else. The skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. You should be able to open it. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Why didn't I have to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo? Why someone like me? Ah! What is it? Look! Just here! Look at this! That's, without question, it's blood! Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? Details of the omnibus have been updated in the court record. Seeing the crime, there's a blood stain visible on the frame of the skylight when it's open. Okay. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Right here! Let's do it! On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts. And the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug! Ugh! You can't possibly have any evidence! No, you can't! I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel. Yes, my lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here. Where exactly within the omnibus is the evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck to the skylight. It's that. It's the blood. Yes, it does open very... Oh, seriously? Okay, hold on. Okay, come on. Okay, so right there, I believe. By Jupiter! Is Is that blood? Ah! This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my! And so it follows that Mr. McGilden was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time. Cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No! Order!
Hold it.
But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. And only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight? Sure, and that would have been very convenient. And let's keep in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? 'Tis all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is. What? No! But it can't be. It's all lies! My fellow jury members! I think we can all agree this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe we can, yes sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? Okay, good to know you're still contributing as much as always. I won't tolerate any of the guild's characters being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it! Oh, I always knew the nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing. On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3!
Objection!
Oh, come on. Chilling performance, Mr. McGilden. Oh? And what would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Zeeks? A blood stain on the frame of the skylight? Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? Okay, actually, why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood... It's clearly there! That you talking about never existed! It's there on the skylight!
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood!
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can say with absolute surety, no such mere blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But, are you suggesting, Overseas, that this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes, and while the court has been in session. What? Is this a thing that Ryunosuke was worried about? Hehe, what a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your stand-in, Lord Van Zeeks. But I'm Mandus McGilded, a fellow known all over the capitals for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's run off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in many great affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut tut, Lord Van Zeeks. This will not do, to be sure. What is now, counsel? Oh, no. I think it's fair to say this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood in the sky didn't exist, you say? But if yous will cast your minds back, it's not true that the omnibus has been in the courtroom this entire time? How could anyone possibly put a smear of blood in it without the world and its wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. Omnibus has been in full view of the entire time the court's been in session. My learned friend, here's to hearing your opinion on this matter. Your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think... Oh, you know what? I think it can be, because there's a smoke bomb. There was a point where you could not see what's going on in the courtroom. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh! Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel! Yes, there it is. It seems my learned ape and his friends has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Nahodo. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear in the courtroom. The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke in all the chaos. It could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are ye wise? What are you trying to pull, ye rotten feckless googer? Feckless googer? Not even sure if I'm saying that right. You're supposed to be defending me! 'Tis a wicked plot! 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is!
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier, as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies such as? To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and skylight were shut. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord, no doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? There was one thing. Did we notice there was like a big blood stain on the floor? My lord. Yes, counsel? There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What? What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you'd better start watching your back. Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. Grrr. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is the alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial? It's the blood on the floor, right?
Got it!
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good Lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that blood stain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But the question is whether the evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone. I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. Ah! Whoa, he got big. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded? I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it's all over now. But you're the defendant. Tis over, I tell you. Oh my god, that face. That scared me a bit. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, 'tis all nonsense. Facts are what count, and the fact is, that blood stain is there now. Well, and over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it all been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. So I thought better of Lord Van Zeeks. Well, my lord? I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular blood stain in question is very much in existence. In the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position? God, I mean, I did not think we were gonna sympathize with this man like this early on, but wow, dude. The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter. I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilda will be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is this really alright for the trial to come to an end now, with all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. Defense believes... I don't know. I don't know what to do. All right. My issue is, like, there's still room for doubt, and it's obvious that he just wants to have this trial end. I think for me, like, the importance of pursuing the truth is more important than just proving my client innocent. So I'd hope this is the right choice. I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilda. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence. What are you saying, man? Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. Good gracious me! Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused innocent to the question. Are you of sound mind? Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was a grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Ah! Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? Tis just the right honorable gentleman so succulently put it before. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how do you put it now? Nothing more than a formality. What? I was hoping to be a little more elaborate than that, but whatever. I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake? His lordship would be fuming, and certainly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said. The sticky rich are always guilty of something. Mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park. Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. I thank you kindly, my lord. He just says, F you at the end. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court. But But we still haven't determined if the blood stain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Lord Van Zeeks. My lord, the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection.
But wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured. I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter. That's so unfair! The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What? Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Do you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time? Yes, it has! Like, comment, and subscribe! 'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue the matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilded. Good grief! You have more to say to me, you have. Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty. I feel so bad about this! It's not even like cheers, it's just like whoop-de-do. Oh, cool, fireworks in the courtroom. That's super not safe. God, that is unsatisfying. I mean, it's very well written. Obviously, it's written to be unsatisfying. I can't believe it. This is an outrage. I should have examined the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. Oh, I hate this. I mean, I love it, but God, I hate it. I love to hate it. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end. With the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. That certainly was a long trial. You're telling me, how long are we in this video? Ah, yes, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. Why do I feel so terrible about it? My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mrs. Otto, thank you for your assistance. I suppose you should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who is actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that! The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did! Mr. McGilded. Ah, and that girl's with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when the verdict's not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Spectacular, yes. Satisfying, no. Yes, definitely. I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I have a fuel to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. I don't know what you're saying, fella. How'd I walk out of there a free man then? By cheating. I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the herd there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Ah, 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Aye. They've all seen that I didn't do an odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now, the fine fellas of Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be proving a good number of their wages with all the taxes I paid. Oh, providing number of the wages. So he's the one paid Scotland Yard. Okay, well, f you. It's not that funny. So then, as we gated beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. Oh, bewaste. You're a humble people, are you? Ye from the east. Oh, so now you're being racist, too. Good. Get in line with the others. Well, if you insist. But have this. Still in all, you deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything's ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upset member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. Okay, honestly, we're chapter 3. Can we have one case that has a satisfying conclusion? Like, again, they're just written to be unsatisfying, and I get that. That's fine. It's good, but like, my God. It'd just be nice to have one satisfying conclusion. And there he goes, a free man. Oh! I forgot she was here too. Please do not gas me with your gas gun. Don't move! Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I ate all grown-ups. Ah! There you are! Huh? Who is this child? Naughty, running off like that. Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Grr. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor? Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, could it at least be a pretty color? I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing to a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted with a telegraphic beacon. You can do that during this time period? I tell her, what's it? What? I have no idea what this girl's talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory. What for? To apologize, of course, silly, to my technician. What? You mean, say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh good, you see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that she wants to not get shot by that massive gun of yours. Well, I'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yes, you're right, but where to? Oh! We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings. But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. You mean the McGilded Park? Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Oh my god, she's crying! No! Please do not show this again! I do not want to see this sprite anymore! Also, why was this not shown in the last case? Now I'm starting to regret turning Miss McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. Or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over.
What's going on?
Get the fire brigade!
Water! Bring water, quick!
What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.